Urgent, Commanders fan! Look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest Commanders news. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame set sights on four-star RB after making Final Five. Notre Dame football stays hot on the trail, landing in the top 5 for an elite 2026 running back as recruiting momentum builds. The Notre Dame football team is on a heck of a roll on the recruiting front. Marcus Freeman and company have hauled in some big prospects over the last few weeks, and now they're locking down visits and making the Final Five schools for even more. All of this happens after the Fighting Irish were once considered to be having a very bad 2026 recruiting cycle. Then, suddenly, they started to surge. They're even surging for the 2027 class as evidenced by the recent unofficial visit of a 5-star wide receiver. The Notre Dame football team is now among the final choices for one of the best running backs in the 2026 class. Brian Bonner announced he'd cut down his list, and in addition to the blue and gold, he's looking at Washington, Nebraska, UCLA, and Penn State. Some of the things that running back Brian Bonner is looking for in a prospective college. Pick. See Twitter. MBW9HOI QB Tom Lemming report. April 15th, 2025, can Notre Dame football seal the deal with 4-star RB Brian Bonner? The running back from Valencia, California is looking like he wants to have his official choice locked in this summer. According to the On3 industry rankings, Bonner is the number 99 player in the class and the 7th best running back. He's also the 14th best player in the state of California. Bonner has taken several unofficial visits, including 3 to Washington and 2 to Nebraska. So far, he's only had 1 unofficial visit to Notre Dame. It's possible he could be coming back to South Bend before his official commitment. In a separate interview with Tom Lemming, Bonner laid out why he's considering the Fighting Irish, and it should come as no surprise that education is at the top of his list. Some things that I look for in a school is education. I think education is really important for all athletes to have a good education, and I just look for a really good coaching staff, and a coaching staff that will take care of me. Notre Dame football has long been able to lean on what it has to offer after playing days are over. It looks like Brian Bonner has been listening to that argument. With no official commitment date yet, the Irish will have at least a few more weeks to push that narrative. Pausing this news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Commanders news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Eagles named top trade suitor for former 20 TD All-Pro. The Philadelphia Eagles signed running back A.J. Dillon this offseason, presumably to fill the RB2 role beside reigning NFL Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon Barkley. But one analyst thinks the Eagles are candidates to add another bruising back to the mix via trade. Pro Football Network's Sterling Zai chose veteran RB Austin Ekeler as the Washington Commanders' top trade target, and he named the Eagles as a top trade partner. The Commanders are in a strange spot at running back, Z wrote on April 18th. Washington has a deep running back room after returning all 4 of its top RBs from 2024. However, all of them are on expiring contracts, leaving the future of the position uncertain. There's no coaching connection with the Eagles, but the Super Bowl champs lost Kenny Gainwell in free agency, and A.J. Dillon doesn't bring passing game value. Ekeler would be a more natural complement to Saquon Barkley on the rare snaps where he sits. Would trading for Ekeler be something the Eagles would consider or be able to pull off? Let's discuss. First, some background stats on Ekeler, the 5'9", 200-pound Ekeler has built a notable career marked by versatility and productivity. Over 8 seasons, mostly spent with the Chargers, Ekeler has established himself as one of the better pass-catching backs in the league. Has amassed 4,122 rushing yards and 43 rushing touchdowns on 1,067 carries, also hauling in 475 catches for 4,250 yards and 30 TDs. His standout season came in 2021, when he led the NFL in total TDs with 20, while netting 1,558 total yards of offense. In 2024, Ekeler joined the Commanders on a 2-year deal worth $43 million. During the regular season, he played 12 games, finishing with 77 carries for 367 yards, 8 yards per carry, and 4 rushing scores. He also added 35 receptions for 366 yards and became a threat in another aspect of the game on special teams. Ekeler returned 19 kickoffs for an average of 31, 3 yards per return, which earned him second-team All-Pro honors as a returner. Ekeler's skill is and always has been characterized by his agility, vision, and pass-catching ability, and his proficiency in open space has consistently given opposing defenses fits. He's had some injury issues in recent years, but he's still a definite playmaker. Would an Austin Ekeler trade be feasible for the Philadelphia Eagles? Despite a dip in production in 2024, partly due to injuries and a shared backfield, Ekeler's experience and versatility remain significant strengths. While the Eagles have Barkley and Dillon, Ekeler's unique skill set as a pass-catching back could complement their existing running back rotation. His ability to serve as a reliable check-down option for quarterback Jalen Hurts could also add a new dimension to the Eagles' passing attack, particularly in third-down situations. Moreover, the Eagles' offensive line, known for being one of the best in the NFL, could provide Ekeler with even more opportunities to exploit defensive gaps. There's no guarantee heading to Philly would improve his rushing efficiency, but it sure couldn't hurt. The only questions are whether the Commanders would be willing to trade him within the division that's doubtful, and how much a trade like this would cost the Eagles. Considering his age and injury history, a day 3 pick would likely do it. If Washington was willing to listen, and that's a big if, it might behoove Eagles GM Howie Roseman to pick up the phone and see if a deal is possible. Commanders poised for major change ahead of NFL draft. The Washington Commanders had one of the best run games in football last season as Jaden Daniels led the offense to 12 regular season wins off the back of a good run game, averaging 149 yards per game. The Commanders were a run-heavy football team, and that was with Daniels leading the way with 891 rushing yards, Brian Robinson Jr. 799, and Austin Ekeler 367, the main trio that Cliff Kingsbury used. But both Robinson Jr. and Ekeler weren't big play threats, and aside from Daniels, the run game wasn't that explosive, which brings us to the draft and the abundance of quality backs set to be available. For ESPN's Matt Miller, getting an explosive back like Ohio State's Tre'Veyon Henderson fills a big need for the offense. Trading for left tackle Laramie Tunsil and wide receiver Deebo Samuel Sr. took care of 2 big needs, but Washington is still missing a true game-changer at running back. Miller writes, Henderson has elite hands to catch passes from Jaden Daniels, and his big play ability is something this unit lacks. Running a 43 40-yard dash shows Henderson has the home run threat the Commanders need, plus his ability as a pass protector will see teams lean his way as well. Not the best runner in the class, but Henderson has enough patience to wait for. Holes to develop before hitting the gas, plus once he gets outside, he can pick up big gains on the ground. So Coach Dan Quinn is poised to move off of Brian Robinson Jr. somehow and to make a major change here. So yes, the Commanders' run game was great last season, but adding Henderson will supercharge it while also allowing Daniels to not have to be Kingsbury's main running weapon. Commanders star trade tops rumor mill. The Washington Commanders' run game in 2024 under Cliff Kingsbury was one of the best in football, with Jaden Daniels and Brian Robinson Jr. leading the way. Averaging a crisp 149 yards, it was tough to stop Kingsbury's vast array of backs, each offering the offense their own unique skills. But as we approach the 2025 season, there is an element of unknown about the running back situation because none are under contract beyond this upcoming season. Considering the deep running back class, there are thoughts that the Commanders could take a younger back and develop him behind Daniels. And that means someone misses out. For Pro Football Network, Austin Ekeler is a name being thrown up as a potential trade candidate. Washington has a deep running back room after returning all 4 of its top RBs from 2024, Pro Football Network writes. However, all of them are on expiring contracts, leaving the future of the position uncertain. Of the group, Austin Ekeler is the oldest back. He turns 30 in May. Exactly how many teams would be interested in Ekeler at this point in his career is unknown, but as part of a running back committee, there is no doubt Austin has value. We would also add that one of the top rumors right now involves Washington running back Brian Robinson Jr., who also has star quality, We just aren't sure how valid trading away a pick in what will be a deep running back class is. Either way, the Commanders need to find a long-term solution to their run game, and that could easily come via the draft, and maybe trading away Eckler for an extra pick might be worth a consideration. But it's a long shot. Commanders can fix contract problem with trade for Cliff Kingsbury. Favorite on the surface, the Washington Commanders are loaded at wide receiver, but the riches are only temporary. Only disappointing 2024 NFL draft pick Luke McCaffrey is under contract beyond this year, but the Commanders can solve the problem by trading for a favorite of offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury. He was behind a deal to bring Marquise Hollywood Brown to the Arizona Cardinals 3 years ago. Now Brown could move on again, this time from the Kansas City Chiefs and Pro Football Sports Networks. Sterling Z believes the Commanders are among the wideouts' best trade fits. Zai noted that while the Commanders have already made a pair of trades this offseason for Laramie Tunsil and Deebo Samuel, but they don't have a receiver under contract past 2025 beyond Luke McCaffrey. Washington offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury traded for Brown when he was the Cardinals head coach in 2022. It's a strong argument for Kingsbury reuniting with a proven deep threat, even though Brown only rejoined the Chiefs back in March. The 27-year-old is somebody who could replace last season's playoff hero and another vertical target, Dyami Brown. Hollywood Brown trade makes sense for Commanders. Chiefs' familiarity has been a theme of the Commanders' additions at wide receiver. In recent years, both Noah Brown and Michael Gallup were known to head coach Dan Quinn with the Dallas Cowboys, while trade acquisition Deebo Samuel played for the San Francisco 49ers when general manager Adam Peters was in the front office for the NFC West club. Reuniting Brown with Kingsbury would be more of the same from the Commanders. It may seem unlikely given his decision to re-up with the Chiefs, but Z pointed out Brown will still likely be behind Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, and Xavier Worthy in the pecking order, making it no sure bet that his production rebounds in 2025. With Brown playing on a one-year, $5 million deal, that makes him very tradable if the fit doesn't work out better in his second season with the Chiefs. The Commanders snagging Brown would add some more playmaking juice to a depth chart, top-heavy with Samuel and perennial 1,000-yard receiver Terry McLaurin, but lacking beyond them. Brown remains a legitimate field stretcher, even after a separated shoulder limited him to just 2 games for the Chiefs in 2024. He still averaged 1 yards per catch, continuing a 6-year run of averaging double digits per reception, according to Pro Football Reference. His 12 TD catches on 20-yard targets per PFF KC Chiefs offer ample proof of Brown's core talent. The ability to take the top off coverage, as well as amass yards after the catch, make Brown ideally qualified to replace those skills his namesake took with him in free agency. It also makes the Kingsbury favorite worthy future-proofing against some lingering contract issues. Commanders must plan for tricky WR contract decisions. Those issues include deciding whether to grant Samuel a bumper payday after this year. Hez, 29 and has absorbed more than his share of punishment in a dual-threat role, so the Commanders have been warned against handing the All-Pro a lucrative extension. Even if Peters is tempted to go against conventional wisdom, he'll need to balance Samuel's future against that of McLaurin. The latter could earn a new deal in the region of $100 million. McLaurin's a team leader and highly productive, but he's also 29 and overworked. The Commanders would be wise to start planning for the future at this key position. Their plans could include selecting a Samuel-like playmaker or two in the 2025 NFL Draft, but Brown would also be a shrewd pickup. He was targeted 107 times on Kingsbury's watch in 22, so Brown would fit seamlessly into Washington's creative offense. And now, Commanders fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Commanders. He'll be back any moment with more Commanders news. We want Dallas.